All right, so we have our signatures all ready to be stitched in. We're going to be doing a crisscross stitch, so it will look like X's on the spine when we're done. So here's our spine. Remember, I put that on there to tell me which way is up. You don't have to, but I just wanted things to go a certain way because I'm actually writing on that one. So it's 3 inches, so it's 9 inches long, 3 inches wide. We're going to put it on our scoreboard. And if you can do this with a ruler and a butter knife, but I have the scoreboard, so I'm going to use it. And we're going to score at 1 inch. And we're going to score at 2 inches. Now we do need to pick which side we want on the inside and outside in our cover, which is here. So I might do the music on the outside and do the writing on the inside. So let me go ahead and do it on this side as well, because we're going to actually fold this. Not fold, but we're going to end up bending it. Now you see there my tool went off a little bit. That's okay. We can make a recovery. You can't even tell it's there. And then you're going to ever so gently fold your score lines, just very, very lightly. You see how I'm doing that? Because I'm just trying to define where my bend's going to be. This will be the spine of the book. So we end up folding it more. So you want to work in, work with your folds going in, because it will actually bunch up a little bit there. You'll feel it in your fingertips. But you'll still have a nice clean spine to work with. Okay, so here's what I do. I keep a template. And again, you don't need to, but I just took a piece of scrapbook, paper, thicker cardstock, and made a template where I want my holes. I labeled it top, I labeled it, and then I know that's the bottom. I'll get this out of the way. And you grab your pokey tool, whatever tool you have that's going to be sharp. You can use a needle, you can use whatever you have. This is actually a brad setter, and it's supposed to poke the hole and then set the brad with that part. But I use it for my journals. And then I just have this came in a piece of furniture we received, and I just held on to it because I can stab it without damaging. People you have used phone books to make it, so you can stab in there. But I like how this works. So I'm just going to line up my template in that crease. See, it's already 1 inch wide. And that way my holes line up with my signatures. Again, this is all optional. There's lots of tutorials out there on how to do it. So by all means, do what you're comfortable doing. This is my comfortable method. And then I know I just need to poke my holes there. Now you only get one time doing this, so you want to make sure it's right. I got my wording lined up, and I'm just going to poke in my template holes. I don't think you'll be able to see that, but I'm just going in these holes here. Let me lower you down. There's my second set of holes right here. And let me try to poke on this side with my left hand. See, and then I'm just going to poke and poke. Just moving it down. I'm going to poke. Believe me, this little pokey tool is very, very sharp. And then just again. So our spine is ready. You can see there are the holes. You can go run back over it with your tool just to make them bigger on the outside. Oh, you can see his back of my hand. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just running back through there. See that? All right, that's ready. Next, we're going to do these as well. These are our signatures we made with the paper and everything we cut out. This is going to be the second one. Again, I want to make sure everything's upright, so I'm just kind of looking to make sure everything's going up. And this is why there's a small crease in this side of my template, because I use it to put leverage down in my nook. And try to do this so you can see it. So I'm using that same template. And this is where people actually have used phone books to kind of cradle their signatures. And you can mess up a little bit more here. So hopefully you can see that. I'm going in through my hole right there. All the way through. Don't get your fingers in there. That one there. There. And there. You see I'm kind of sliding off. But that's okay, we did it. It's not the perfect straight, but when you're standing right over it, you can make it straight. Here's our first signature. Everything's upright. I'm going to take the top of my template. And how I made my template, I just kind of, I think I either eyeballed it or measured it or something. And then I've just used it over and over. And you don't need to have this many crisscross, especially if you're doing a smaller journal, because it would just look, very close together. And then some people just put holes in it and then just do it that way. See our holes? Okay. So we got one of the more detailed parts out of the way. Next, I take my needle and thread. People like to use waxed thread. I am actually using a twine. I'm comfortable with it, but by all means you can use what you want, embroidery thread, or I actually have like some cording. And then what I do is measure at least 4 times, the length of the book. So there's 1, 2, it's very sloppy, 3, 4, and I like to have a little bit extra, especially at the end in case I need to trim up some. So there, I'm just going to cut my twine. For time's sake, I've already threaded my needle. See how large my hole is in my needle? I think you can just look for larger needles. I'm sure there's a technical name for it. Gauge. All right, so we take, I know this is going to be my first one. That's going to be my second one. Again, I keep checking to make sure it's upright. Because see, that would have been backwards, upside down. So make sure everything's upright. Take the time to do it. And on the back of my template, I've actually told myself where I want to put my stitching at. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. And it makes the X's. So the reason I did that is because at the end, your strings will be loose, and you can follow this guide to pull your strings tight. So because I know this is my second one, I'm going to start my hole here. So it's the second one down. And pull it through. You can hear that tracing paper in there. And when it does get a little tight on you, you can take your pliers, because I just have wrist issues mostly, and then pull it through. Now at this part you want to put a stop on your thread. Now see, I have a lot of thread. I gotta get a piece of washi tape out behind you. That's just where I have all my paper sitting at right now for this. So let's go ahead and get just a piece of washi tape. And you're going to secure that down. It's gonna be your stop. You don't have to. It just helps you when you're pulling at it and you're frustrated with it, that you were able to stop it, you know, there. You can't pull it out. And it doesn't damage your paper. I think some delicate, if you had a print or something on there, it may. But you can see that's just clear, plain paper. All right, so then I'm gonna grab my spine, making sure it's going the right way. And I'm going to stick it in the hole that we just, so think of this as A, and think of this as column B. Column B, column A. We're going through the second hole on column B. All the way through. It's going to be a little loose in the beginning, but it will tighten up over time. And then see, so there we went through with the signature. Let me see if I can get a better angle of this. And the spine. This is the hardest part. Once you get this down though, like I said, make a template. Make a template showing all your numbers and then follow it. So I know I want to go, because we're doing the X, I want to go up here to column A, first hole. And get that through. Get that through there. Some string you will not have that issue with. You won't have to do that with. And then we're going to grab our first signature and come in through that first hole. Okay, I had a paper malfunction there. Let me show you another tip too. Sometimes it helps to clip these together once you get started. That way then, so I'm just clipping my two signatures together. You can see there's already the first stitch in our spine. And it came through the first one. Again, column A, that top hole. I'm following my template, and now we're going to go down the next hole. Can you see that? Yeah. And we're going to go through the paper. See my needle? And we're going to hit that hole right there. And I'm just going to take my pliers and pull my thread through. And straighten up as we go along. See, there we go. Boom. One done. We come out the other side. And following our template. Well, the stitching I do. So there you can see I got 1, 2, 3 goes down, 4 goes up. That's where we're going now, number 4. So let me, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lay that like that. I know it's sloppy, but, you know, you get what you get. I'm going to do that like that, and I'll pause that right there if you want to see what I'm doing. Okay, that might help. Coming down, so I'm sorry, I'm going up to that next number 4. It's going to come through the hole, and I'm trying to find my hole. So, of course, after I cut the camera off, it pokes right through. So you can see it coming out the other side. Oh my goodness. Pulling my thread through. Okay. There, one X done. See how easy this is? Just makes you want to go eat an ice cream cone or something. Okay, I'm coming back through now. You're going to see where you're going to have some double double holding there. See, I don't know the technical terms, but you're actually going to push your thread back through that same hole. And see how it came through that other end there? You pull it. And now this is the tricky part. Don't catch that other thread because you're just going to have a mess. Don't get a mess on your hands. I've had to pull it, you know, stop it, pull it all back out, start all over again. And then I'm going down this way. So I'm just making X's. That's all I'm doing. Looking for the hole in my paper. See how easy that just was? Too easy. Sometimes I'm afraid, like when it's that easy, that I'm going to mess it up really bad somewhere. Okay. So, you see there I'm going through this one and poking my paper through. Now look, can you see that? I actually have a little bit of a curlicue in there. So let's stop here. Let's fix it up because that's going to cause issues. I'm just tightening everything back up. Ah, look, it's sliding on me. Stop it. Stop sliding. I'm just following my pattern, tightening my strings. Yeah, I just got a bunch of string there. Following it back out. There, and we're going to tighten that right up. There, okay. Because now we're getting ready to go through this one. Again, a double hole. A double, I don't know, we already have string in it. I know. Believe me, I'm not a teacher by trade, so no worries there. I'm not teaching your kids. And we're going to catch that and pull it through. See how pretty this is coming out? And you notice our string's starting to get shorter. I'm going through this hole now. And I'm looking. This is where you kind of got to pull up your paper. You got to look. You got to put your head down or pull it up or everyone look at it. There we go. We're almost done. Almost done. Coming down this one. Now, I've already got, I gotta go through my spine. Can you see that right there? I'm gonna put that needle right in there. So you see it's a lot of flipping. Flip, pull. Make sure everything looks pretty. See how pretty that's so, oh, I love it. And if you were doing a smaller spine, you wouldn't have to do so many of these, but this book is 9 inches long. So it's rather, you know, large. I'm going back up because I'm making my X, my last X. I know it's going to come through here without catching that string. I think this is the last X is the most complicated X. Because you know you've done all this hard work. And you don't want it to mess up. And there's easier stitches in this. There is. You just got to find them. They're out there. It just seemed natural when I did this the first time. I just did it and it was like, oh, that makes sense. And it's sturdy. Now, see what happened there? My string all got bunched up. See that? So I'm going to stop the camera and clean that up because I got to get that back out of there. We're just going to have a big mess. Hold on. Okay, that wasn't too bad. I just had to pull some strings back and around. Looking for my last hole. There it is. Going in there, see that? We're gonna flip it over. I'm gonna grab my pliers. Again, you may have the brute strength to do this. I do not. Not my right hand. And then we're gonna go up. And you see why we put that little crease in that? Because it's going to be easier when we're done to fold it. Okay, I'm looking for my hole. I think I need to tighten this up again. So again, what I do is start from scratch. I go up, I pull strings inside, and this is where having that template works. You can follow, trace your pattern. See, I'm just pulling that, see all that extra we have. Pull it out. I know it went down. It went down to there, and I think my strings actually crisscrossed there. They did. They did. That's what you don't want to do. Look at that. See how I interwove my string? So I'm going to have to pull a couple X's back out. Because I don't think I'll be able to get rid of that. So I'm just going to take my needle off and work my way back out to it. I think that's, yeah, that's where I got hung up at, right? I think it is. All right, let me fix this and we'll get this finished. Okay, so I fixed my mistake. That's why, too, I like to have a longer piece of string because I had to cut that off and, you know, to thread my needle again. So I had to pull all, some of that back out. So I got my last stitch in. And that's what it looks like. So you can see the X's. And your last string will come out here. So here's your first signature. Look how nice that is. I'll leave that be. This one now, we can do several things with it. I know there's some knotting techniques that can be used to tie this up. And if anybody has a really good one, please share. I'd be more than happy to try it out. Take off my washi tape and see, because I left too much of that go, but that's all right. We'll be okay. I still have my needle threaded, and we're gonna have to try to knot that together. We can go with the old-fashioned knot there. And I know there's a way you can do it, but I know. This is where I'm still learning quite a bit. See, that's just still too loose, but I think we can fix it up. And if worse comes to worse, we'll make that an envelope. And we might just do that, because I should have left more string. I'm just going to try to tighten this up now. Because you don't want your stitches coming loose. Yeah, I never did take up like sewing and all that good stuff. So I just try to keep looping it through, making a knot. we'll call that good. I think we're going to probably end up making an envelope with this. Is that tight? Let me go through it one more time. This is where I get a little like, oh, is it going to work? Did I do it right? Is it going to work? Okay. Take our scissors. Now, some people do this real nice and neat, and then they have things hanging off of there. You can see mine's a little bit sloppy. It depends on how well I knotted it. And let's go ahead and take off our paper clips. This is when you really see it come together. There is our spine. Very pretty, huh? Here's our book. It looks like everything stayed. And like I said here, we'll probably just close this up. We'll probably end up gluing it down, trimming it up. I should have used thicker paper probably for that one. And make an envelope out of it. Or a front loading or something. We'll figure that out. Or we can even fold that over and then make a little tuck spot there and then have that. We might do that too. Okay, that is stitching in your spine with a crisscross stitch. I don't know if you learned anything or if you're going to try it and hopefully be successful at it. And now next up we'll, well, I guess we can go ahead and glue on our covers. There, or yeah, like so. And I'm just going to glue those down. I use a combo of my glue and I also use red line tape. And do that, and then we'll be ready to embellish. So if you want to watch me do that, I'll do that now. Let me grab some tape. I got my red line tape out. I have my glue on the ready. And now what you want to make sure you do with your covers is that you line them up and then you know what side you have to put tape on. So I don't want to put tape right there. Just going to find the start of my tape. And lay it down. I don't know if I want to do there or do it on there. We'll do it here. I always like to start with the back cover on this too, just because if I mess up, I don't know. I guess it's just my idiosyncrasy, or not idiosyncrasy, my new, what am I trying to say, folks? I don't know. My nuance, my silliness. Just trying to trim that tape up. This red line tape can be pretty darn slick when it wants to be. So, see, we scored that so you can start pushing that down a little bit more so it stays. I'm getting my glue out. Let me move that out of the way. You know what this does? It just buys you a little bit of time as you mess with the tape. And if you wanted to, you could round your ends. You could do that. And what I do here is I start with the tape. There's my back top. And I started, but not all the way. And I'm going to pull it off. If I can get it started. There. I'm going to pull it off as we go down, trying to keep it all lined up. Without getting my face, hair in the camera. And I'm going to grab that. Where's my paper towel? This glue removes fingernail polish real quick. I'm just kind of feeling it. Down, pulling that down and lining it up. Pulling it down, lining it up. Yeah, you just got a little bit of working time there. Just a smidge. How straight is that? Pretty darn good. I wish I could have gotten that lined up just a little bit better. But I think we're okay. It's not bad looking, is it? Looks pretty good. Okay, let me do the front cover. Okay, front cover's glued down. The back cover's glued down. There's the spine. I'm going to do a little touch up. I have a little bit of paper separation there. It needs to be fixed, but not bad. We're going to, I guess, probably put some distress on there. I did have a little bit of paper cracking. But not too bad. And we got to do some bookends and then some embellishments. How pretty, huh? How big? It's nice and thick. 2 signatures. There's all of our pretty papers. There's our bag that we have to cover up because there's some, you know, some cosmetic displeasure. And yeah, that's turned out pretty decent. Here's our back. All right, so next we'll be embellishing and all that good stuff. So anyways, thanks for joining me again. Have a great day. Bye.